That's crazy. It's good. More coffee. I've been working on getting up at 6 in the morning. I used to always do that. I used to do 5. That's like an insane person. Anyway, we're actually going to get ready. We're trying out new Ilia, as you saw in the video title. I am going to caffeinate as we go, unplanned. We're just talking. So grab your cup. Let's get ready together. We're going to go from this to this little look. We've got the Ilia on. We've got the Creal eyeliner, a new Jones Road product, and an RMS product that was going to be new, but it just didn't work. So ready? So I finally tested out, by the way, the Rare Beauty blush. And there's a little redness, little breakout. That's what mixed dimethicones do to my skin. See, I'm still waking up. Can't use them. Anyway, the full review for that is back on the site. I try and remove the personal side, the subjective side. Solara, sun visor. Still really enjoying this one. Anyway, I try and give you my honest take, and then I'll avoid the things that I know are just going to freak my skin out because then I can't keep testing. So it performed really well. It was just that dimethicone and a couple other little things. So you can check it out. My hair is super. That means not done yet, but I am testing out the Innersense. I tested it out a really long time ago, and I don't remember what I thought because it was probably 10 years ago. I don't remember. I don't remember. So I had it and I had just finished something else that I was using. And so I wanted to give that a try. This is the Ilia stick. This also has dimethicone, but for some reason it doesn't upset me as much as products with lots of mixed silicones. She's a special snowflake. Just using the viewfinder today. That's actually a really good sign because that means that I trust the product and it's brainless to apply, which tends to be the type of product I go for these days. This is not, if you're new here, hi. I've tested thousands of products over the past 10 years, and I'm pretty lazy when it comes to application. I lean heavily on brushes. And you also get this blurring with this stick. It's a really, really phenomenal foundation stick. If your skin can tolerate the ingredients, check it out. But I'm liking the Innersense shampoo and conditioner. It's making my hair floofier. I don't necessarily, I haven't done anything to it, so it looks a little stringy, but I am growing it out. I've tried to find things that don't weigh it down as I continue to grow it out because then it looks really, ugh. But so far, so good. I think it's making it a little soft. If you have fine hair, you try usually to avoid the soft. But oh, also, this I found this Sephora brush because Amicole went out of business, and I needed something similar to their foundation brush. It's not exactly the same, of course, but I really like it. It's almost like an angled kabuki, and it's soft but dense. The soft but dense is the thing I look for. It's not it's not failing me yet. This is the new brush that I've been using and testing for foundation. You saw how fast it went on. There's no settling, there's no blurring. So I'll add links and stuff and information for that below. The true, that's the first Ilia concealer that I tested years and years ago. When I first tried their True Skin Serum, I liked it. When I tried it again, I had gotten a little bit more savvy with makeup, and concealer is very tricky. It creases quickly if you have mature skin under your eyes. You know this, and there's thousands of videos out there on how to do it. I have some too, but um, it was an instant creaser for me after a while. So I haven't been using that. You haven't seen it on the site or on videos for that reason. This is their Skin Blur Serum Concealer, and it says it's crease resistant, self-setting. All these concealers say they're self-setting. I don't find that to ever ring true, but we're going to find out today. 12-hour wear. All right, as we do, I'm going to tell you my shades because, yeah, Mesh and Ramie, whatever. Mesh and Ramie has more of a golden undertone. I'm going to do close-up swatches for the full scorecard. Mesh has what looks to be more of a neutral undertone. I don't think Ramie's gonna be the best. Let's try Mesh because Ramie looks a little bit too golden for me. So we have this reminds me of the LYS applicator. It's like a doe foot, but it is triangular. It's picked up plenty of product. Here's what we do. I put it onto the back of my hand every time now. You can, of course, put it directly onto your face, but I find this to be the best approach because it doesn't use as much product. I was gonna use an Ami Collet brush, but I won't because you can't really get those. So I'm gonna use the Sarah Creal concealer brush that I've been liking. This shade looks pretty good for me. You can't actually tell because it's matching my skin tone pretty well now. Under the eye, sometimes I like something a little bit lighter, but I also don't want it to be too pronounced, the brightness to be too pronounced under the eye. Um, in the inner corners, it's great though. So I just put a little bit on here, very silky to the touch, and then just pressing it into the corner. Honestly, I don't know. I keep saying this in every video, but less is more. The lightest touch will do it. You just don't need a lot. I feel like when I'm rushing, I'm a little heavy handed. I'm for sure heavy handed when I'm rushing. So I understand wanting to just sort of slap it on, but you don't need to. And under the eye, I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, it's pressing in very well. It's giving more of a veil of coverage, which is expected because the first one did the same thing. And it's not brightening. Granted, this isn't like a dark color. So it's doing a good job. It's not a big wow brightening moment. And that has to do with the shade too. So I want to be fair there. But I don't know. On camera, it's not really looking that impressive right now. But in real life, you can see that it's gotten rid of that inner corner here, the darkness. The darkness. Let's try a second coat, shall we? Get a little bit more on the brush. Yeah, it gets a little. Okay, second coat. Going in. Going in. Focusing on the inner corner. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I'm not going to drag it too far onto the rest of my face today because I need to patch test this just to make sure my sensitive skin doesn't freak out. It's really natural looking and still provides sort of that veil of coverage. It's a very natural take on that. I am not mad at it. I just didn't really see it show up for a second. So I was a little like, uh-oh. But as you can tell, especially when I went on top to kind of even out the base, it looks like the dark circles are gone. Well, the dark pigmentation is gone. The canvas of the eye is evened out. Can't see a lot of redness. I would probably go maybe a shade lighter. I had trouble matching with these shades. I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't. And I'm not saying that it's hard. It's just, I think I had trouble with the undertones here. Normally I can find something that's neutral but still has sort of a warmth to it. I like to use that under my eyes because if it's helpful, that peachy pink tends to correct really quickly and I don't have to fuss as much. This blended on very well. It's not like it's tricky to get onto the skin. I like it. I just needed a minute with it. So that is one side. We're going to do the other side in a different shade because I'm going to walk around like that all day and look weird. But this is going to be in Ramie. I just want to see if there's maybe some more brightening with the golden undertone. There's maybe some more brightening with the golden undertone. Like who? That is Ramie. Ramie. Whoa. Probably looks the same to you, but we are waking up with the sun today. The reason I'm doing these 6 a.m.s is because I want to film while it's dark in here. You get a better, more true sense of what's going on with the product. It just films better. It's a little bit more accurate that way. I could film downstairs where it's very dark, but it's frigid, frigid cold. This is the story of my life because I move so much. I will one day get a house. I've already built it in my mind. And it will have very specific things, very specific places. It doesn't have to be like a giant gargantuan house. That's not my dream. My dream is nature. Gotta have nature. I love a house that brings the outside in with like reclaimed wood. I think it would be really cool to build, they call them passive houses now. They're sustainable houses. And I do think that's going to be what we're going to have to do anyway. Not in like the, you know, like the cupboard filled with perfectly organized glass jars of seeds. I'm not there. I'm not there. But anyway, everything will have a place. And then I know exactly what I want to film where without making it into an entire house studio because obviously other people will be living there and that's not fair to them. But yes, I figured it out. I have a very clear vision. I love visualizing. Some people can't even visualize, and that's okay. But man, I would be very depressed if I couldn't. That's definitely more yellow. If I set this, my guess is that this is going to oxidize more. Um, it's a little bit more brightening, I think. They're close. They're close. I think I prefer the first one that I did, mesh. Yeah, because that's looking a little bit too yellow for me. Very subtle. You know, you can make it work, but that's why I try multiple colors if I can over here so you can get a sense. I'm going to put mesh on top because I don't like the yellow. So now you know for sure that mesh is going to be the way to go. But look at that opacity, very strong opacity. And the blend here, I'm really not fussing with it. Now, wear test, creasing, how it works for multiple days. These are things I find out with the scorecard. I test them for a couple of weeks just to get a good read because nobody really talks about that stuff. Or I don't know, the UGC that just wants to sell it to you. I'm not trying to make you buy stuff. You know that. I'm trying to share information so you can make a better decision. I want you to buy better so you don't have a pile of crap on your desk just collecting dust. I'm not perfect, but at least I can give you an honest opinion. You know, I'll tell you what though, we're going to move on to the rest of the products and watch what this does on the face. I do have newness from Jones Road. I have newness from Sarah Creal, the eyeliner, and I have newness from RMS. So those of you that stuck around, then you get to see that. Look at this. What is this? We're going to leave it. It's very Pippi Longstocking. I can't. Nope, I can't do it. Nope. Stop it. That was tough. To complete my sentence, I'm not seeing creasing. I am not. And this is the bad eye. This is the naughty mad eye. This is the one that's like, no, we're gonna make it hard for you because there's a little extra creepiness right up in there. By the way, Ilia has a brush that I probably should have used. I will use this when I start testing. I test multiple application methods, fingers only multiple different brushes. This is their blending brush. I use this. I've been using this for eyeshadow for years. Obviously, that's not what it was created for, but I got to tell you, I love it for eyeshadow. It is the quickest, easiest windshield wiper blurry thing. So I'll test it with this too. I've used a similar brush from BK Beauty for situations like that. I don't think I have a bronzer with me. Guys, what? Gary, that was scary. No bronzer? What? Who are you? Well, I have the Victoria Beckham here. I have the Sarah Creal here. They're both Kajal eyeliners. There's multiple Kajals. If you know, you know that this is one of my favorites. I have this in cinnamon. This is a shimmer. Hello. So sorry. I have this in cinnamon, which is a shimmer shade. I have this Sarah Creal one in bronzy, I think it's called. Yes. And that's a shimmer shade. Um, Victoria Beckham. I have to try this in a matte because the Victoria Beckham is putting this to shame. I'm sorry. So the payoff here, you'll see, it's creamy and it glides. Like I would say subtle, but not in a good way. And the other thing about this, sad. It saddens me. Because the other thing is this is a shimmer where I see more flecks. See glittery flecks, although now I'm not seeing them as much. So more so it's about the payoff. Now I'm just going to show you, and that wasn't the lightest touch. Now we're just going to go over that with cinnamon from Victoria Beckham. Just watch this line. It's showing up. You see what I mean? The cinnamon is subtle from Victoria Beckham. However, it just pops. The Sarah Creal is not popping on me. It's not popping. It's not popping. But I have seen demos of Sarah Creal where there's a matte shade being used. There's only 3 mattes, I think. They're mostly shimmers, and those mattes seem to have stronger pigment payoff. So I don't want to pan it completely. I don't like the shimmers, but um, yeah. Some of you, look at it's back. Some of you were asking about the comparison. I have to tell you, I will do a scorecard for this because I really like the brand. I like a lot from the brand. This is just not my jam right now. And when you, I put the wrong lid on it. When you compare the two, this is why I love a side by side, guys. And not saying that everybody can do that because nobody has the stupid amounts of product that I have. Grateful for it. But the side by side, a lot of people are like, that's the best powder ever. I've tried 3. And you're like, I love that you love it. But if you haven't put it against some of the top performers out there, you just don't know how good it can be or how bad it can. So I'm just going to stick with the Victoria Beckham there. And it wasn't good. Sarah Creal wasn't good. Mm-mm. This is a new highlight from RMS. This is in shade Luster. I still haven't taken my B-roll of it, so I'm trying not to harm the packaging, but oh man, wow, this isn't coming out. Whoa, guys. We are live, coming to you live. It's gonna go flying, I feel it. All right, nothing's coming out. You can hear it kind of cracking in there. Let's get some tweezers up in here. Maybe she's blocked. Houston, we have a blockage. Dear RMS, what? This isn't old either. I'll have to give that another shot some other time. That's upsetting. Moving on. Dead to me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to put the Axiology on here. This is the Shape Stick, and I'm just going to use this for my eyes. Quick bronze. And then we're going to do a concealer check. So it's funny. I don't know. It's not really funny necessarily, but I was listening to podcasts a lot lately. And the reason is because I had really bad eye strain. It's a long story, but my adorable little 5-year-old, almost 5-year-old niece was in town, and it was the perfect excuse to step away from really subjecting my eyes to just tons of screen time. And it was a little scary because you can start to see new floaters. I have an appointment with my ophthalmologist. We're going to be okay. That's what I'm going to tell myself. But things have healed quite a bit in that time. And the reason I bring it up is because during the last week, I was hanging out with the kiddo, which is genuinely good for the soul. And I was trying to stay off of my devices. And I did a really good job. I actually started going, why did I spend so much time with you? Like, it was I try to take things like that scare me. And I try to go, okay, like maybe I can use this in a positive way. I really do try and do that, as cheesy as it sounds. So I have been listening to a couple of podcasts, and I haven't done the audiobooks. I used to do the audiobooks, but more so podcasts. I like just the talking. I don't know what it is. And I realized it reminded me so much of when I was in California and the pandemic had just started. And I'm I'm I love spending time with myself. I have no problems with that. I'm not the person that needs to be out and about all the time. And there's nothing wrong with people who want to do that. We just get energy differently, right? So I was like, cool. But then I remember we passed the 2-week mark, and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a while. Okay. And in California, obviously, lockdown was lockdown compared to other places in the States. And I remember I started listening to more podcasts and watching my old movies. And we all watched the shows that made us laugh because they was so chaotic outside, and we didn't really know. I didn't know. I didn't have control over all the craziness that was going on. Very common cycles that I've gone through now since a couple of times in my life, and I'm sure there will be more. But I lean on these things, these comfortable, familiar things. And we've talked about comfort creators over here before. And I've always been like, oh gosh, I wish I could be like that. And a couple of you have written and said that is similar to the vibe you get, which makes me so happy. I also like to provide information, right? So I was listening to these podcasts and I was so bummed when they would stop. I would be like, no, 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 I want another one. And these weren't the podcasts where I did the health and wellness a long time ago. And you're like, oh God, I gotta eat grass-fed butter. I gotta ground. I have to look into tallow. It was the crazy wellness that was still going on. But I remember getting off of those podcasts and thinking, I've got it all wrong. I have to fix everything. So those aren't the ones. They're not the self-help ones. I feel like in my 40s, I've just sort of gone, I'm good. I got it. I got it. Um, so anyway, I'm listening to different types of podcasts. You know, Jones Road has a full thing of minis right now. They came out with minis finally. Listen to us, which is so exciting. So this is in Cheeky. This is a little dark, but it's what I have in front of me. And I was like, well, why do you like these shows so much? Even better than TV. And I'm like an 80s baby. I love TV. Well, I just realized I could listen to people just talk. Doesn't even have to be multiple hosts. Just talk. And it's the same people at the same time during the week. And you just have this cornerstone of familiarity, consistency, and it's for somebody who runs their own business now. That used to be my corporate job. Now, did it make me sick? Yeah, it did. It really did. Not all of it. I met a lot of wonderful people through it and I learned a ton. But without that, that's probably why it reminds me of the pandemic, because then I went fully remote because I was very lucky to be able to do so. And I didn't have the distraction. I didn't have that. And for me, it wasn't necessarily people. I see people, I have a workspace here, I go to yoga, whatever. It was just this familiarity. And I remember back in the day, used to be Wendy Williams. Like, I feel so bad for what she's going through, but yeah, we're talking about Wendy Williams now. I remember I was unemployed in San Francisco for about 5 months, and I thought, I'm going to have to leave one of my favorite places on the planet. 'Cause I don't know if I'm going to get another job. And I would make sure that every day I would have a routine and I would walk Chrissy Fields. Woe is me. It's like the best walk on the planet. And then I would go to, before I would go for my walk, I would watch Wendy. Or maybe after my walk, I'd come home. I'm going to put this on my eyes. And I just loved it. I didn't even care what she was talking about half the time. She was hysterical, but that type of thing. And so this morning when I woke up, I was going to do a lot of different things with content, but I really am at a point where I just I just wanted to sit down, play with makeup, drink some coffee and talk to you and just see where it goes. Cuz I realized people don't really care as much as I care about when you're on the other side and you're creating the content. If you're my brain, you're like, "Okay, so we have to have like a content pillar and then we have to have it's like the marketing person in me. I've just been releasing her over the past 2 years. It's weird, but it's great. So I just wanted to sit down and talk and give you a sense of normalcy in a very abnormal time. I don't know where you live, but I mean, it's just weird. And I struggled a little bit at this time, truthfully. This is the Merit mascara. I haven't used this in a really long time. I thought, why would I be posting makeup? People are going through living hell right now. And I'm not going to go into that, guys. I know that's not what this channel is about. But in my personal time, I'm quite active in these things. And I just was thinking about humanity, not sides, not parties, humanity. And I'm like, how can I sit here? Last week, I thought a lot about this. How can I put out makeup reviews? Like, what's the point? And I realized I came back to, first of all, people are still going to shop for makeup. I don't want them to be exposed to only BS interviews or reviews, not interviews. And I think there's some validity to that. But in terms of meaning and purpose, I don't really go far if I don't have a sense of meaning and purpose, like any human being. And I realized that part of it is just showing up for you, for me, for us, and just talking about hair flips and mascara wands. I just figured that out. I wasn't going to talk about all of that, but I did. And I don't know why. I just thought, oh, I always like, just talk about the makeup, just talk about the makeup. But that's not really me. That's not who I am. It's a big part of me, and I love to talk about it. Obviously, 900 videos in. But there's more going on. And instead of trying to reinvent the wheel here, I was like, start where you are, continue where you are. YouTube happens to be YouTube and the website, but YouTube and the newsletter happen to be the most connected parts of what I create. I like knowing that people get something out of it. And you don't really get that on short form on Instagram and I hate TikTok, so I'm off TikTok now. And I don't really like Instagram either, but whatever. I'm slowly weaning myself off of Meta. This is too funny. What is happening? Let's do a crease check, shall we? What? Okay, this is crazy. So this side that normally gets creased lines in it, I can see the natural skin texture here, and I can see the makeup on top of it, but I'm not seeing the lines of product bubble up. Does that make sense? It's not creasing. This is a vast improvement to the first product that I tried, the Ilia True Skin Serum Concealer, which maybe is still on the market. But I assume they're replacing it with this. I certainly like Mesh more than I like Ramie or Ramie. One day I'll get it. I'm blown away by that. That's huge. Okay, so this is new. Jones Road sent this in. Okay. Jones Road Lip Recharge Glossy Treatment Balm. The only reason I made those noises is because it's peachy and glittery. I have 3 shades. This is champagne. It should look shimmery. That's what this means. I'm going to have some more coffee. Everybody's doing these. Oh boy. Okay. I went overboard. There you go. Here we go. Hi. Okay. So it smells pepperminty like the Cool Gloss. I put a little more on than I normally would. Feels great. I'm doing the inhale to see if it makes me cough. These are the things we do here. It's not heavy. It's not tacky. It's not sticky. It is velvety, silky. Velvety, silky. It does have glitter flecks, I think. Yeah. Well, I see them on my fingers. I don't see them on my mouth. But am I eating glitter right now? Not really a fan of that. We're going to keep testing it. Should I just stop here? Because this is a very easy, I think, everyday look. Not glam. Do I ever do glam? Do I ever really do glam over here? Get out of my robe. Figure this out. Go listen to my comfort creators. Also, the other thing is I've been walking outside more. Really, like getting off devices is a wonderful thing. And I've started to figure out ways to not have to be on screens as much without hiring a team of people yet. There'll be a place for them in my house, obviously. Probably not. I don't know. We'll see. So this is it. One thing I will say, I haven't really, I'll probably put a little bit more of that hair milk in here. It just makes it look it makes it look defined. The thing about the Innersense is that it is creating actual volume in my hair. It's just soft volume right now, so it needs a little bit more styling product, but I'm very much so liking it. It's not giving me headaches. It's not heavily scented. So that review and scorecard's coming up. This one, like I mentioned, is already on there for the Rare Beauty Blush. Again, a top performer. I just feel like there's a lot of silicones pissing off my skin right now. But I will put links to everything that I mentioned below. If you want to see anything specifically from what I tried, let me know. I hope you enjoyed just sitting and talking about makeup and some life stuff. See you right back here real soon. Until then.